Hey guys, welcome to my new episode where for the first time in my life I'm importing a car from the United States. Since I'm a newbie, it turned out I actually imported 2 cars. How did it happen and who did I do it with? See for yourselves. We're heading to the south of Poland. Boom, hey guys, greetings from Krakow. It's morning. I slept in a beautiful hotel because I landed yesterday and now I'm heading to the guys. And picking me up, I'm just saying hello, is Mr. Adam Jugowski himself, the guru of old school Polish drifting.
No, I don't think so. See how lively the cheering was. Now it's gone. We had just a moment ago, but the young people here are cheering because... Yes, that's right. It definitely stands out.
All right, let's not drag this out. Let's head to the place. Okay, listen, I'm sitting inside the Subaru BRZ and I just realized that this is the first time I'm sitting in a stock car, and only now do I see how all these plastics, these seats, all these trims and finishes look in the car. Alcantara, elegant. Subaru BRZ and Gran Turismo 86 share the same body, and I just noticed the headliner. It actually looks pretty good, right, Adam?
Just like in a Japanese car, the quality is like that.
My dear friends, I've just landed in what's called a cool market. We're going to check out some interesting rides. You can see that this mighty warrior has fought more than one battle. And Patrick has come to see me.
Hi, good morning.
Hey Patrick, you run this powerful company, right?
For over 7 years, we've been importing cars from America, although at first it was really just a hobby and a kind of hobby trading.
We're in the hall. What's it used for?
This is strictly a transshipment hall. From here, the cars are distributed further, either to mechanics or to the owners.
And if there are any minor damages, I think you can even handle them yourselves.
Yes, although what we really do here is more like detailing, finishing, and let's say we store our own cars here.
Cars. What kind of car is this?
In front of us is an SL 63R 231. Quite a nice treat.
A car I bought over a year and a half ago for myself.
What year?
2013, so the beginning of the 231 generation.
How many horsepower?
I think it's 550 stock, but we'll tune it to 900.
And man, the most important question that everyone is curious about, how much does it cost to get a car like this?
For about 90,000 zlotys delivered to your door. We bought the parts for 35,000 and I think we'll finish the whole repair for 50,000.
So man, we have such a ride for a price of 140,000.
With the excise tax, it'll total about 160,000 zlotys.
You know, everything ready? Just turn the key, start it up and go.
SLs are getting cheaper, so we can buy one for about 300 to 320,000.
Ready.
Are you serious?
You can buy a ready-made one for that much.
Do you guys hear this? Under 200 grand, let's say you want to add some rims, some tires, insurance, whatever, you know? You throw in everything, the full package, let's say, even if this car comes out to 200 grand and you're saying that this car for 260,000 is a steal.
Well, you could easily sell the 550 for 250 grand right now.
Tell me, how much could a trunk lid like that cost?
Well, then I have to touch it. All right, this isn't metal. Now I know exactly. Carbon fiber.
Yes, carbon fiber that cost 80,000 zlotys.
That's far too much. I would have already made a mold and started making those hoods myself.
We'll have to do it that way, but there hasn't been time yet. I'm showing this as a kind of curiosity because it's something that literally blew my socks off. It's not the one you can see, it's actually even smaller than we assumed from the photos.
My dear friends, since this is the first time I'm making material of this type and on this topic, if you're interested, if for example during this video you notice a cool car that you'd like to see the whole project of, just like I'll show with my Dodge, from zero to a car that's driving on the road already registered, meaning we have the whole process of repair, all the costs, and how much this private guy made on the given project. But seriously, how much could you each make? Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see such an adventure with one of the models presented today. What are the main differences between United States and European cars, for example, on this model?
Of course, we have the lights, we might have reflectors in the bumpers, we might have a steering wheel airbag that has 2 charges instead of 1. Sometimes it happens, for example, in a Mercedes, that there's only space for a short license plate. And most importantly, Lukasz, there's one more key difference in cars from the States. In the States, we don't have gasoline particulate filters, so cars from the States are often much more powerful because they're not restricted by our European standards.
Here we have a powerful X5.
No, this is an X3.
That's all I know about these new cars.
The new X3 has grown so much that it's easy to confuse them. This is an X3 from 2020 with the B58 engine, so it's an X3 M40.
So this is the 3-litre B58 engine, also found in the Supra MK5, and forms the basis for the S55 and S58 in MVM.
It's gradually becoming the foundation for drifting mods. Dude, what year is it?
2020.
It cost $60,000 to bring it home.
60 grand to get it home, exactly.
Roughly to the right.
I estimate that with the excise tax, we'll keep it under 105,000.
Something's off here. It seems too good to be true.
Those are shots, right? It's not always magical.
People will say, hey Patrick, get it for 60 grand. But as you said, those are just rare chances.
First of all, if we're talking about importing from the States, it's worth bringing up the topic of quantity.
Some importers pack 4 cars at once. We pack 2 or 3.
2, listen, I'll speak from my own experience. Why am I here right now?
To see the Ford Explorer, which was originally the car we bid on, but Janusz changed his mind, meaning me.
He said, hey Patrick, but I don't want the Explorer. You know, try to sell it while it's still in transport. If it works out, then we'll buy another car. So you can even make some money on it, right? That's right. And listen, that's the point. You pay 2.5 grand gross, you save on transport. You have the experience of people who've done this for years. It may sound like an ad, but it's genuine. I'm blazing these trails myself, backed by facts, and you'll blaze them with me. You also get advice on how much to pay for and earn from such a car. Assess those impacts since you're speaking with experienced people. As Janusz, by clicking and stopping them from earning 2.5 grand, you could face other unpleasant consequences. Most often, Janusz has run into
the wrong importers. And then such an importer might buy you a car with the wrong title. He might buy you a car from a dealer.
And then there's quite a big surprise when we think we have a slightly damaged car.
But it turns out that this car actually has really serious damage.
For the photos, parts are reattached and fenders held, but inside everything is bent.
Another issue is the transport itself. When deciding to import on your own, you'll be dependent on transport companies where you don't have an established process with them. And this import will simply take a very, very long time.
If Janusz himself sat down to do it so you wouldn't make any money, how much extra would I pay just for the transport?
For an independent container, $3,500 just for the container, so that's $2,500 more than with us.
Well, I don't think I need to explain the math any further. But listen, we've already cleared that up just briefly. But coming back to this BMW X3, because to be honest with you, first of all, it's big.
I've heard these engines are very fuel efficient in this body.
These engines are fuel efficient in all body styles.
At a speed of 180, you could get an average fuel consumption of 7 or 8 liters. That's crazy. This SL costs, I think, around 160,000 zlotys, ready with excise tax for everything. It was a bit rough, just slightly. Somewhere here on this little piece of plastic, it had a small snag. It had a scratched bumper and other minor cosmetic issues.
We have a Toyota Gran Turismo 86 here, right?
It's not very popular because by today's standards, they have very low power.
The car has a balanced center of gravity, handles well, and is very fast.
People today ask how a sports car can have just 200 horsepower. How is that possible?
35,000 zlotys to your doorstep, ready for around 60,000.
We're moving to the lot. We're at the lot, and there's a Chevrolet in front of us.
Chevrolet Camaro with a 3.6 V6 engine, so it's a car for everyday driving. They burn up to 12-13 liters.
How much did this Camaro cost?
This Camaro cost about 55,000 zlotys, I think. We had a broken spoiler at the back here. The seals and injectors were damaged. The repair cost was 500 zlotys.
Exactly. In the American automotive world, everything is simple. We have engine designs that have been irreplaceable for decades. A little bit of electronics has been added, so with a screwdriver and a wrench, you can fix most things.
That's right.
And how much do they actually cost, in the end?
With excise tax, the total is about 55,000 zlotys, complete with new rims.
I'm quitting YouTube and we're just going to do this car trading, right? Now, it all sounds sweet, but what are the biggest screw-ups in this business, the ones that can really trip you up?
Well, first of all, if you bought a lemon, if you bought a car from some dealer, like a flood-damaged one, there are a million things that could go wrong. It could be customs clearances, where officials questioned your paperwork, and you pay 15 euros per day in parking fees for each car. Other things that could go wrong are, for example, some kind of damage that might happen. This is transportation, and anything can happen there.
So let's move on to the Explorer, which I had, and then I didn't have. This is the damage, which was here in the pictures.
You can open it up here, no problem. We won't cause any bigger damage. At first glance, like you said, it looks good. We definitely expected a worse scenario.
So what was the final cost of this car?
This car cost 50,000 zlotys delivered. We sold it for 60,000, so Tasia made 10 grand.
It's a 2019 Ford Explorer 3.5 engine. This is the popular Explorer that's used by the police in the States. My dear friends, now, this side was hit, so we've got the door. 1, 2, the sill, and the fender. Front bumper.
It's actually salvageable. It's definitely a matter of the cover here and the lower part of the bumper fender.
Judging by the rim, the suspension likely wasn't damaged. It's not very strong, maybe just a rod or something.
Look, here's an interesting thing. Why don't we have any air in the tire? The valve is broken.
Now we can see that this part is more for the body shop to shape from the outside, so there's probably no need to weld in any quarter panels or anything like that. Here I see the windshield washer reservoir is full, so all these components here are also intact. The frame rail is also straight.
The expensive front parts are in place and undamaged, meaning the headlights, radiators and hood are all intact. These parts are simply expensive to repair, so we've avoided this type of damage for you. We were looking for damage that would be much cheaper to repair.
From your experience, the repair is about 30 grand.
When bidding on this vehicle, we would charge ourselves 30 grand.
As it is in the States, always fully equipped, so it's a super comfortable car. That V8 is very quiet.
In this case, it's the V6 running quietly.
That V6 runs really quietly. And for 20-inch wheels, look, I'm turning the steering wheel with my little finger. Madzia was scared of the car because it's so big and worried about driving, turning and parking. That's how you'd park, Madzia. That's why you should regret not wanting this car. If everything is really so sweet, maybe we should open a branch in Gdańsk, I'm thinking now. We'd record these topics on site and also bring in interesting cars for you, giving us a break as well. Content is the priority. Let me know if you want to watch, since I don't always want to go to Krakow to show everything. And we could open such a base in Gdańsk Tasiema, sprowadza mi auta.pl, open a base.
Your clients will have a chance to meet you there for service and you'll be able to give them advice.
Some subleasing of these cars, or if any are interesting.
Whenever you want.
One guy from Toruń made a fortune. You know, right? Okay, let's open it. Listen now, what is this? I often wonder about it.
This is an encoder with a code.
And this is the kind of system Ford came up with for guys like me, as Patrick just said, based on a personal identification number code. We're leaving the Explorer and I'll pick 2 cars from the lot to check out, since there are many and we're short on time and I'm freezing. And listen, here's what I'll do. I'll pick the BMW M2 and 1 car with that kind of suspension. I think you know what I mean. Wait, before we get to it. And finally, Patrick will show off the company car at his workplace, which is driven by the cleaning lady. So let's head over to the BMW M2. Here's the BMW M2. What was the price? What repairs were needed, if any? It looks great.
Yes, it's repaired and ready for customer pickup. It's the M2 with the N55 engine, so it still sounds amazing. It's slightly lighter than the M2 competition with the S55 engine. This car had a slightly damaged right fender. However, the suspension wasn't damaged, which is great since we have a BC racing coil over here, I believe. So it would be expensive for just a single shock absorber. One headlight was damaged in the process, so one headlight has been replaced, and the bumper was slightly damaged. But that's all when it comes to the damage. The car came really well equipped. We have coilover suspension here and a complete Dynan exhaust system. The intake system is also from Dynan, and the car was tuned back in America. We measured this N55 car and found it has about 450 horsepower, which is a lot. An M2 with the N55 engine can be delivered for 60,000 zlotys. Because of minor damage and expected modifications, we bought it for 80,000 zlotys, delivered to your door. Including excise tax, it totaled 105,000 to 110,000 zlotys.
So we've got the N2 behind us, and now let's go to our car, which has air ride installed. Was there information that it has air ride?
No, there was no info about air ride.
So it was a surprise, huh?
Yes, there's quite a big gap.
So you didn't know it had air ride, and the car is...
N2A320 Turbo Quattro.
How much did this particular one cost?
This one cost 37,000 zlotys delivered. The air ride suspension is the cool part.
What's cool is the Ratiform rim. So that's also a nice bonus with the rim, which we already knew about.
In addition, we have an MBRP exhaust. The turbo has definitely been modified here as well, and the car is tuned. We've got an upgraded intake, so that's another few thousand ahead just in tuning parts alone.
When importing European cars from the States and comparing them to American cars, I think American cars have a higher markup since European ones don't, right?
No, not exactly. Right now, European cars are actually the most popular ones to buy from the States. Those markups are happening too. Which cars have the highest markups in the sweet spot?
There's no sweet spot. You have to cover the field and look for opportunities.
And listen, that was the last car from the lot that I showed you, but there are still Porsches there are still Mercedeses, here's a GLB, and here's a cool S-Class with a V12. Yeah, that's heavy. Listen, and now we're going to one of the company cars. Thanks.
For watching!
Bobo, which has gotten a bit smaller because, as you can see, we have a completely different bumper in the front. It's installed here.
In my opinion, much nicer, 170? Yes.
It was 2024 mileage. 4? Yes. 4, this is a car from this year. It has 4,000 kilometers on it. The car is also beefed up when it comes to modifications.
All right, 170 grand. So yeah, on the outside, the bumper and side skirts.
Bumper, side skirts, rear diffuser.
Let's move to the back, and this wing, honestly, I have to say I really like it. It really looks awesome, like kind of like the design in Formula 1, 2 or 3. I like the screws most, but they're also the only thing I dislike. I also noticed the exhaust was changed.
The exhaust, of course, the whole exhaust system. Here we have an Armitrix exhaust installed.
And the final power?
Final power, 695 horsepower, 900 Newton meters.
Oh my, give it to him, sir. But that was loud. That modern cars can sound like that. Shocking. Let's head inside. I'm taking this car for a drive. How much is the repair on 170 grand?
The repair here, the car came out to 260,000 zlotys all done.
With all that tuning?
No, without tuning, plus tuning adds another 100,000.
So we have 360? 360, yes. About how much is this car worth?
Around 420,000 zlotys. The standard versions are listed for that much.
Standard. All right, listen, we've entered an expressway where we can accelerate up to how much? Up to 100 per hour? Up to 120. Slowing to 120, then down to 20 per hour. Now silence. Let's listen. All right, it's already 123, so we need to slow down a bit. I don't know how long that lasted, but honestly, it's really cool and it's fun to drift, but to really feel the acceleration, this X-Drive does the job. How much power does it have in stock?
510 horsepower.
510. And this one has 690?
695.
So, 700 horsepower. That's quite a big difference, and we didn't change anything in the equipment.
No, we didn't touch the turbines or open up the engine itself. This is like a stage 2.
So, my dear friends, to sum up, the Charger is on its way to us right now, and it will be in this episode or the next one. I'll show everything from A to Z, down to the last penny, how much the repairs cost, how much the modifications cost, because I want to do some cool details and changes. I'll show how much the car will cost in the end, and it's possible that I'll convert it to liquefied petroleum gas.
Very good road.
When it comes to the economics, we'll calculate it together, and in the end, you'll see how much this whole project costs. I'll show you, based on my own experience, what an adventure with American cars looks like. At this point, I'm saying goodbye to Patrick and heading to the airport. Thanks for watching. AU.